In 1902, a batch of 6 460s were built by Nielsen and Company for the Great Central Railway. These were designed by John G. Robinson alongside a new type of fish van. The engine and the vans were made for a new fish train service, starting at Grimsby. They earned the nickname Fish Engine and held on to that name no matter what sort of work they did. If we're talking numbers, the engines themselves weighed 64 tons, had 6'1" driving wheels, and a narrow parallel boiler. Their 180 psi boiler powered the engine's two 19-inch cylinders. They were light for 460s and had fairly low tractive effort of 19,672 pounds. It's easy to believe that they were light on their feet, and indeed they would later work some passenger services. Expresses in many cases. Many of their parts were interchangeable with other Great Central engines of the time, making maintenance costs low, relatively speaking. But the boiler was fairly similar to many Great Central engines, and its cylinders were shared with one of the 080 goods engines. In 1904, another batch would be built by Bayer Peacock, this time 8 engines, bringing the total to 14. While the engines weren't built for passenger work, the second batch would be allocated to Gorton to pull express services. After the grouping, the entire class were given new superheated boilers after some testing. And aside from that, the only big mechanical change the class would undergo was the addition of larger tenders. By the grouping, the Great Central had made many larger engines, and the B5s got spread around, with some of the fish engines pulling trains into Great Western territory. After the grouping, they'd spread even further, some still pulling fish trains in other places, some pulling stopping passengers. One was even stuck on station piloting. A single B5 was withdrawn in 1939, and the rest would continue through the war. During the war, the class would handle the increased traffic with relative ease, seemingly being quite successful, if unremarkable. They were early 460s after all, and the wheel arrangement had grown into a wild success since the B5s were built. In 1946, the Thomson B1s would start to replace the B5s, and between 1947 and 1950, the entire class were withdrawn. At the end, a few of the engines were just humble bankers. The interesting thing about the class is that despite being so weak for their wheel arrangement, they handled pretty much everything quite well. Fast fish trains, stopping passengers, express work, heavy wartime goods, station piloting, and banking. I'm sure they were a little frail for their type, but they were wildly versatile, and for bonus points, they do look decently fast, to me at least, and with a total class life of 48 years, it's very impressive. Early 460s just didn't live that long usually. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. I'll see y'all in the next one.